How's it, guys? I want to do a quick update on the market currently, and I want to speak about what I'm looking at for today and going into next week. Obviously, yesterday we had CPI data, and it actually came out positive for Bitcoin, which is why we did see that initial run up, right? Everyone was like, oh, Bitcoin's pumping over here. But remember on the Telegram, on the group, I told you guys that we're only going to flip bullish when we actually close above this level, right? So the problem was, the 4-hour candle didn't close. It closed respecting the trend line, right? So you can see every time price hits this level right over here, we get rejected, okay? Every single time, okay? Multiple times, okay? Obviously, the more we tap it, the weaker it becomes, okay? So when looking at price action right now, we do have to be careful longing into this level, okay? Because we did actually break these lows. We did break structure to the downside. Obviously, this is pure manipulation, though. This candle, it's just crazy. There's no wick to the upside. There's no wick to the downside. Just straight manipulation. So what I'd want to see here. Let me just remove this quickly. I'm still waiting for it. Right? I mean, it's all about being patient right now because the market's super choppy, low liquidity. It's hard to get some setups. But just waiting for this to happen. A close above this level here. Longs back up to 94k. Okay, so. There's a lot of, I'm going to go over a lot of stuff in this video just to show you there's potential confluences with the altcoins and Bitcoin getting a bounce very, very soon, right? I do think that, we're super close for something, okay? Which is why I'm staying, super cautious at these levels because, there is a possibility for us to come lower here, but I do think that, there is a high probability that we actually, take out this level within, the next week or even today. I don't know about today, but within next week for sure. Okay, so basically just waiting for a 4-hour candle to close above this level here. Pretty simple, guys. We've spoken about this quite a lot, so I don't want to carry on and arbling on about this, but just watch that level for Bitcoin, put it on your chart. Another thing I want to speak about is total 3 and then others. Let me just speak about others first. Yesterday's video I spoke about this, right? The October 10th crash, if you look at the monthly time frame, when looking at this, it just shows that price is still holding support, okay? So, like I said, are we going to get that tap of that level? Yes, we actually did. We did tap support pretty much at this zone. There is a probability that we do bounce from this level, guys. And I'll show you a confluence with USDT dominance as well. So, I am watching very, very closely to potentially get some longs on the table to hold for a relatively long time. Okay, but right now, can we jump into longs? Personally, not yet. Okay, but this is the key level here. Can you see how many times prices tap this level here, guys? We can actually just put some arrows to show you. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, and you could even say this is a 7th and 8th time over here, even 9, 10. Okay, so multiple months, of candles closing respecting this level. So it's showing that price does hold this level quite strong, and the probability of us bouncing here is more likely than, obviously getting a dump from this level, okay? So I am staying optimistic and seeing if we can get a move to the upside, okay? And what I want to do is I want to put USDT dominance here and show you guys why I do think that, the move could happen sooner than later, right? Because we are getting to a critical point right now. Let's have a look at the 4-hour. I'm going to go straight to the 4-hour time frame and have a look at this, guys. USDT dominance. Okay, we spoke about this morning and yesterday. We were saying, okay, USDT dominance did pump, but it closed respecting the level, right? It closed respecting the resistance zone right over here, okay? So can you see what's happening is there is a possibility that, there's a high possibility, that we can get a rejection from here, which in turn could pump crypto, right? And the thing is right now, can we take longs right now for crypto? It is hard. I will show you that I'm looking at an OTC long, but the thing is, taking a long at this level here, I mean, there are a few coins like OTC and a few others that are looking good because they're tapped really, really strong zones. But the problem is taking a long off this level here on most coins is that we still have this trend line intact for USDT dominance, right? And structurally, this is still creating higher highs and higher lows, right? So what I'd want to see is, I just want to see price break this trend here for USDT dominance. Once we break this trend, I do think that we can pretty much long any coin at that point, okay? So we're coming to a critical stage right now, and I do think that it's important to look at USDT dominance because this is showing us that money is rotating back into crypto if we do actually break this trend line. So it's super important to actually look at USDT dominance. I think a lot of people neglect it, which is something that I don't do. Okay. Let me just make this a little bit better. Let's do that. Okay, so let's see what happens. But watch out for USDT dominance, guys. I do think that this could roll over here very, very soon, and then crypto could potentially get a move. So I'm watching this very, very closely. It's always good to just put some alerts on, just in case you're not around, and you can just get it when you want. Okay, so USDT dominance looking decent, right? So it's something to note. Okay. Also, let's have a look at Ethereum. So ETH also at a critical stage right now, right? If you look at the 4-hour time frame, same type of structure. Let's actually just remove everything here for Ethereum. I mean, it's pretty simple, similar to Bitcoin, but trendline, we have support right over here. You can see how price tapped that fair value gap. I mean, we could have actually potentially looked at along at that zone, high confluence zone over here. Let's have a look and see if we can move this across. Bang. Yeah, here we go. All right, so I mean, if you look at this chart for Ethereum, I mean, right now it's kind of, obviously it's still bearish, but it's coming to a point where we can potentially break trend here for Ethereum. Okay, so can we take a long right now? Personally, I would not take a long for ETH right now because we are still below trend. You look at the 1-hour time frame as well, looking really, really nice, holding this trend line. Obviously this is just, I mean, this price action is super chopped, super manipulated, like. So it is hard to get a setup right now, but personally what you can just look for is a bit of a breakout trade. Do you remember the other day we had this range, right? So currently ETH is back in the range that was consolidating for literally since Monday, and then we had a fake out downside. So honestly, what I'd probably wait for is just a 1-hour close above the top of the range and then look for continuation longs. I do think that we've tested this level multiple times, right? Have a look at this, right? We've tested this level multiple times, right over here. I mean, pretty much for the whole week, right? This was all just chopped. Same thing over here, just chopped the whole week, just consolidating sideways. And then we had a fake out, same thing, close respecting, and also closing respecting right now. So there is a probability that we can potentially get a move higher here, right? There is a probability that that's going to happen. And I do think that's most likely in this case. Just because also CPI data was quite positive, right? Obviously, it was really, really choppy yesterday, which is why we didn't really trade. But we'll see what happens there. I'm looking at potential longs though. Okay, I'm looking at potential longs here. So we'll see what happens. But just be careful. What I would wait for, guys, is just waiting for USDT dominance, right? It's super important to look at this, right? This could definitely roll over here and break trend, and then it's gonna get that move, right? So, but that's kind of just what I wanted to speak about. There is a couple coins, Litecoin. I jumped into a long on the daily time frame and on the weekly. You can see for Litecoin, I mean, it's holding support really, really well. It's been holding. This is the buy zone that I've been speaking about, around about 75 to 73. I do think that we can get a reaction back up to 110, 109 within the next couple of weeks. Okay, so this is more of a spot to like a 2x leverage trade. You don't want to be holding. I mean, you don't want to be going more than like a 5x leverage on this because of the stop loss is quite large, right? And then also the downside risk is also there. So if you want to look at the setup, I'll just jump in with a either spot or 2 to 3x long. Okay, so Litecoin obviously holding structure. I'm looking for a range trade back to the range high over here, potential breakout as well for continuation to the upside. Okay, so Litecoin is one of those coins that are actually looking decent for continuation. All right, so there isn't really many other tokens that I'm focusing on right now because it's the market's pretty chopped. I mean, if you look at any token, I mean, like look at this. I mean, this is ICP. We're at support right now on the weekly. So what you want to see is like, you want to start to see like lower time frame change of structure, right? And what does that look like? So basically, how the market reacts, something like this, right? So can you see how the market goes down? It's just forming these lower lows and lower highs, right? The whole time, right? The whole time it's forming these lower lows, lower highs. And then what do you want to see is you want to see price break this previous high, okay? Start forming a higher low, and then you look for continuation, right? off this level here. So this is what you would want to do. You can even draw the fib from this low to this high, and then try catch it long at the 0.65, right? But you have to wait for price to change structure first, because sometimes what could happen is price just blasts through this level and then we get a push higher, right? But the thing is, longing off just the support isn't just enough most times. Okay, I mean ICP potentially can still fill this wick here. You know what I mean? So you're gonna have to wait and be patient to wait for structure to change. And obviously your entry wouldn't be as great, but you would have a lot more confidence in the trade because structure has actually changed. So it's just a little quick update on the market, guys. Just my whole thing right now is focusing on total 3, okay? Focusing on total 3 and focusing on USDT dominance. And I think on the 4-hour time frame, guys, just watch it. Watch this level here. Obviously, we'll let you know what I'm doing, but I do think that if we can break this level here, longs are going to become very, very valid for crypto. Okay, so very I like how we're getting rejected here, but let's see what happens today. I hope you guys all have a great day. Just a quick little update on the market, and I'll see you guys in the group. Cheers out.